I'm going to go ahead and open up SCULPT, the modeling synth, and we'll talk about this a little bit. This is a great engine, if you guys aren't familiar with this. One of the things that I can do right away is actually put some guide tones in, or common tones. Pedal tones would be another way to look at this. And so I'm going to go ahead and just pull this underneath just for a second and create an empty region, actually, and drag it over here to the bridge. Okay, I'm just opening up an area to immediately start putting some notes in. All right, got to look at chords. If I go to my chart, I would find actually the tonality for the bridge. And so give me just a second. I'll show you what I mean. Broken Man, Sibelius. That looks like the one. Just kind of see how things start coming together when you're working on stuff in the studio, especially if you've got musicians with you and you need some really interesting stuff. It really helps to be able to pull up a file like this and say, here's the bridge, okay, at letter E. So I'm going to tidy this up while I'm here, if you guys don't mind. There we go. So here's the chords. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chords. Interesting bridge, okay? 4 and 4 and 3. Yeah, that's what I see. So we'll see kind of how the timing is. But that's the area that I'm in. So if I double click here and actually push this open, I'm inside of SCULPT, okay? So this is what I mean about just adding some stuff in. Now, I see lots of C chords in the bridge. So if I wanted to find some common tones, kind of look at it this way. There are certain notes that I can hold through here, probably all the way through. In fact, I can see just by looking at this that even though this song has been in A minor kind of from the start, I can use the note C all the way through here. It's in that chord, it's in the F chord, right? It's in all these chords. So maybe find it in the right octave. That's the octave below middle C. Here's middle C. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a note in here, and we'll just kind of let it bubble, maybe once every bar. I think we're starting at bar 73. Now, I don't need that sound in particular, so I'm going to go ahead and close up the bridge at this point and get rid of the Sibelius file. But I want you guys to understand, I'll go ahead and save it, how important it is to be able to pull that up during a session. So let me go back in here, and let's find some other kinds of sounds. And these are the ones I wanted to go to, motion sequences. But if you don't mind, I'm going to describe the engine real quick before we start. Notice it seems like a motion type of sound already. Most of that is happening down in this area. This is actually where the envelopes are. But what this is a virtual instrument that's based on algorithms, and we would call this physical modeling. What they're modeling is a string. So notice if I go over here, I'm going to just push the engine a little bit and click on the keyboard. You can see the string oscillating. And these orange pieces right here are actually the pickups on the guitar, in a sense. Now, in the virtual environment, because of algorithms, I can make this string as big around as a cable from a bridge, and I can hit it with a boat paddle. That's what you can do in the virtual environment. So that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's basically algorithms, okay? But very interesting to use this type of engine for sound design. The most important part of this is the materials. And again, this can be steel. You notice that steel's down here in the bottom corner. I've got nylon here in the top left. Here's wood, and here's glass. So, and you can move around in here. Unfortunately, this area of the interface is not automatable, just so you know. I'm going to go ahead and maybe turn on the second pickup. I can edit sounds like this, but let me take you through the stuff that you would expect to find now that you've had, for instance, sequencing class. You guys know about subtractive synthesis, and there's 5 circuits in subtractive synthesis that we're dealing with. For me, I'm old school. I actually had cables around my neck as I was plugging into a modular synthesizer in college. So I'm used to finding the oscillator, the amp, the envelopes, right? That would be ADSR, right? Envelopes, filters, right? And what else would we use? What's the timing device that we're probably getting from motion sequences? An LFO, okay? So look around here. Here's the filter. Notice that we've got a wave shaper in here. This is probably another filter in a sense. And there's a third one here. There's body EQ. It's interesting on this particular interface. If I click this, look what you can use. Look at the different shapes. You can choose the shape of all of these stringed instruments to actually be like the body cavity of the string that you're oscillating, okay? So really interesting interface. And I'm, again, going to drop some notes in. I'm going to pull it down. Master volume's over here. We're down, here's -14. And let me put C back in here. I'm going to close this down. I'll come back. Let's get something playing. 73. That That was it. I heard a little bit. C3, C4. Let me make sure I find it. There we go. Let me go back one bar. Yeah, 72, and I'll pull this region open. 72. We do 3 or 4 of them, and then I'm just going to copy and paste here. Okay. Not that one. This one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Should be enough. Here we go. It's right here. Sculpture. All right. So just went around, and you can hear it maybe just hitting once on a bar. But I'm going to go ahead and change sounds now, and we'll just kind of go through some stuff here. Listen to some of the motion sequences. Gatekeeper, for instance. Okay, because I've done a tempo map in here also, this is always going to follow. That's Gatekeeper. Let's try something else. Here's Fat Groove. I got a little crazy out of control. Let's try another one. Noisy. What was it? Reverse rhythms. That might be cool for this song. We'll try. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Now, let me solo it so you can hear it. There's nylon. Here's wood. And you can see I'm overdriving this circuit, so let me pull some of this back a little bit. All right, let me unsolo. Wood is what's making it fly out of control. You get the idea. All right, sculpture. Let's try this with a different instrument. We'll go ahead and leave that one in. Maybe we can get it to talk to the other one. And let's add, if you don't mind, another software instrument. And I'm going to actually do this one the same. Bear with me just for a minute here. Somewhere over in here. There we go. And this is going to be Alchemy. And some of you maybe have started playing with this synth engine. Again, same thing that you would expect if you go in and grab a synthesizer, especially if it's going to be subtractive synthesis, you'll find all kinds of stuff here. This is the Alchemy engine. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it away just for a minute. Let's create a situation on the track. I think that would make sense. So I'll take a peek and say hi real quick here as I'm messing with my session. Let me get rid of the global tracks and the global tracks and the global tracks, and that'll help. So this second track in here, this is Alchemy right there. And same thing, I'm going to go ahead and I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to start moving notes around maybe a little bit here. Let's mute this. We'll see what we get out of Alchemy. Same, middle C. Okay, now let's go back to the engine and let's find for instance, motion sequences. Now, notice that in this synth, you can go simple, you can browse, and you can go advanced. As soon as you go advanced, don't panic. Those same 5 circuits are in here. Look, sources, these are the oscillators. Square, saw, triangle, right? Sine. These are all pure waveforms, and if you click here, you could actually go get other types of wave files if you want to. Here's the filter. Here's modulation. Here's the LFO. Here's the envelope. Okay? Attack, decay, sustain, release, right? That H, by the way, is attack and then hold, decay, sustain, and release. And so notice that there's a hold here also. Attack, hold, decay, sustain, and release. AHDSR. Okay? So regular synth. Let's go back to the browser then and let's find some of the stuff. It says sound effects, by the way. And in the subcategories, could be a machine, could be natural. Let me try something like this. Electronics, dubstep, drum, ambient. Let's see what Blueprint is. These are dangerous falling rocks. You guys hearing that? Here's the volume. Minus 12. Now, it's not in key, all right? That's one of the things I'm talking about is like when you do sound design, you have to get it in key. And some of these are just getting pulled away too far because they're more in that category. If we go back to, for instance, arpeggiated or motion sequences, again, kind of rhythmic, maybe choose something like that, sequenced, not industrial, not house, maybe down tempo is kind of where this seems. Complex, clean, bright, dark. Look at all the descriptions here. I don't know if you guys have seen this engine, but you just try stuff. Let me let it play. I'm going to just choose it. I like that layer. Listen to it. That's just on that note C, right? Because it's a common note. Let me go ahead and tuck this away, and let me open up Sculpture. Now, we go to the mixer. Pan. On the left. From the top of the bridge. Kind of figuring out I can automate that, right? So figuring out ways to include sound designers, talk about transitional material. Just wanted to show you those two synths. You guys got to just play with them.